Oh, North Korea has done it again, launching another missile that diplomats say defies international sanctions and United Nations resolutions. The Security Council is set to hold an emergency meeting on all this morning after Pyongyang launched what it says was a satellite, claiming it's all part of a peaceful space program. But you know, the U.S. and others charge it's all part of North Korea's ballistic missile program aimed at putting a nuclear weapon on a warhead that some fear could potentially hit us. At last night's Republican debate, the candidates insist the U.S. needs to do more to face North Korea's potential threats.
The next president of the United States is going to have to get the United States back in the game, and if a preemptive strike is necessary to keep us safe, then we should do it.
Thank you, Governor Bolton.
So what do we do? John Bolton is a former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, also senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute and a Fox News contributor. So, Ambassador, what is, Ding Dong Kim Jong-un up to by launching these missiles?
Well, look, this is very serious, and people should treat it that way. Remember, it comes just 1 month after North Korea's 4th nuclear test. And it's a demonstration, I think, of the concern that the commander of American forces in South Korea expressed a few months ago when he said he believed, and the South Korean military agreed, that North Korea was making real progress in miniaturizing their nuclear devices to get them to the size where they could be put under a nose cone of an ICBM. And they were increasing the capability of their ballistic missiles such that in a very short time they could hit targets on the west coast of the United States, obviously Alaska and Hawaii more vulnerable before then, and our allies, Japan and South Korea, vulnerable now. So this is a major step forward as North Korea makes this progress, and let's not forget their close cooperation with Iran, both on ballistic missiles and almost certainly on nuclear weapons as well.
Can they be stopped?
Well, I think they can be, but certainly not after 7 years of the Obama administration's so-called strategic patience, which shows that strategic patience for them is essentially a synonym for doing nothing. I think we need to do 2 things. Number one, there could not be a better example of why the next administration needs to revive our national missile defense capability. It's all but been debilitated by Obama, but protecting our innocent civilian populations, if everything else goes wrong, is critical. And second, we have got to spend time focusing on the North Korean threat. This idea that strategic patience essentially allows you to ignore it is now reaping what it sowed.
Do you think China and Beijing finally will have had enough? You know, they have been fighting us putting new sanctions on.
Yeah, look, the Security Council, which, as you say, is meeting even as we speak, has been debating for close to a month now a new resolution imposing sanctions on North Korea for last month's nuclear tests. So we're in a traffic jam in the Security Council, 2 resolutions on North Korea, creating gridlock in that body. The fact is, I think China is worried about North Korea's program, but we've never asked them to do what was necessary and what they have the capability of doing, which basically is shutting it down through applying economic pressure and ultimately moving toward the reunification of the 2 Koreas. Frankly, sooner rather than later would be better.
And do you think the administration is taking a tough enough line on this? Look what Susan Rice says this morning, a pretty strong statement concerning this missile launch. She says, quote, North Korea's missile and nuclear weapons programs represent serious threats to our interests, including the security of some of our closest allies, and undermine peace and security in the broader region. We will take all necessary steps to defend ourselves and our allies and respond to North Korea's provocations. Can you dissect that diplomatic speak on what she means and what we could do?
Well, look, it's an excellent statement. I would feel very comfortable making it myself. The difference is the Obama administration is not going to do a single thing about it. You've just seen their response to what North Korea has done, and the Security Council can debate until the cows come home. This administration's policy has been set since the time of Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. It has not diverged from that for 7 years, and rhetoric aside, it's not going to change for the next year either.
And meanwhile, they're still working on their ballistic missile system, and they had detonated that nuclear device a month ago, and they are continuing. Ambassador Bolton, thank you for your insight, as always, every Sunday. Of course.